Welcome, scribes, to Writemas Day 4. So today we're going to take a look at Asana, my favorite project manager app, and this is my desktop version. There is a desktop version and a browser version, which is really awesome, so that you can really connect anytime, anywhere. And this is my personal one here. You can see at the top is my 2021 writing goals, which I visited today. Now, before we get started, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Take a look around, check out some of my videos, comment, like, subscribe. My videos are primarily aimed at writers who want to create a foundation based off of knowledge, mentality, and the hard work that you put in to do what you do best, write. So here I am in my 2021 writing goals, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about what it looks like when I'm in here. Typically, I like to use Board. Board is just easier. It shows you all of the sections that you've got, which for me are goals, outlined, working on, completed, and then zero draft, as well as revision. So I like to organize my writing projects in this way. As you can see here, my goals say that I'm a little bit behind on a project, which is the things we keep. It was supposed to be done by December 6th. I can change that if I'd like by just simply moving it to today. Or I can totally clear it. And have no date there. Now, right now, I've added images for each one of my projects because I like to see them visually laid out. And at the moment, you can see that I'm working on a short film, Glass Monster. I've assigned that to me. You won't really need this if it's just you, but if you've got a whole team, this is perfect because you can assign them specific tasks. So each of my sections are based off of a workflow that I traditionally have, which is all of the goals that I have for my writing projects lined up down here, and then I can move them along as I work on them. So outlining is very important to me. So my next section is outlining, and then of course actually working on, which would be my writing phase, and then completed once I've completed the first or second draft. And then if I want to go ahead and list it under the zero draft, I've got a specialty column for that. And then, of course, my revision section here, which is great for if I'm working on something and I'm not quite on the working on phase. I'm sort of in between my revision process for it. I've got my own section for that. And of course, you can add your sections by just clicking over here and putting in a new section. What I love about Asana is that you can actually do a calendar view. Now, you can see that mine is going to only adhere to what timeline I've set or date that I've set for it. So at the moment, I've got the Sound of You project ending on the 31st of December. If I had multiple projects listed, I would see all of the dates here, but you can see that I don't quite work on a date timeline at the end of the year anyway. List mode is another good way, but it's not something that's my favorite to work in. But if you like to work in a list mode and see your due dates over here, that is perfectly fine. But again, I'm a little bit more visual, so I use Board all the time just because it's so simple to move around and I like how I can visually see it laid out. Now, another area that I like to put in Asana is actually my back burner writing projects. And this is basically all of my ideas compiled here. And what's great about this is you can easily open this up and see sort of a small outline that I've written here just to make sure it's a little description so that I don't forget what I was thinking about when I came up with that idea. I like that you can actually add additional things within this project. So I've got a secondary description area here, and I can actually add some subtasks, which would be sort of like outlining or writing maybe a synopsis. And that's really cool because then you can go ahead and actually mark it as complete as you go along. And remember that over here, we've got due dates that you can assign to it so you can track yourself, and you can assign it to pretty much, I assign it to myself. So that's how I usually like to function with this. And so these are my back burner writing projects that I keep listed here instead of in a notebook. And I can easily, of course, move it on over if I've outlined it. And you can see here that I have outlined already the things we keep. And then I can go ahead and keep track of what I'm writing. A few of these were something that you may have seen as writing currently in my 2021 writing goals, but here they're listed as completed. And that's because typically I have written a draft of it and I am going back into my actual writing goals and tracking at the moment where it's at. So here you can see I had 0 draft listed, and in my back burner writing, you can see it says completed. You can also see here that I like to use my board template again, just because again, it's so easy to move around. And I've got my column set up for idea, outlining or outlined, writing, as in currently writing, completed, revision, and then ready. I can again add more sections here whenever I really want. It's great because you can customize it anytime, whenever you feel like it. And you don't have to feel like you're constricted to just one format. If you want to come up and change it again to calendar, you can absolutely do that. Now, I like to actually add a little color to show a little bit more about what I'm working on. Once you hit the 3-dot icon, you can set this color to whatever color you'd like. For me, I set it to yellow. I guess it's because I typically use yellow in my workflows to denote that I'm still sort of working on this. Now, the reason I really wanted to show you all how Asana works is because I was on Reddit and I saw that there were a few writers who were asking, how do people just keep track of their folders and their writing projects? So I really wanted to show a little bit more about how I organize all of my goals on Asana to track them. I hope you enjoyed this little organizational peek into all of my files for my writing goals. Let me know down in the comments what your current system is and if it's working for you. I'll see you in the next one, scribes, and thanks again for joining me for Writemas Day 4.